Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talk of the Town. Talk of the Town has been dark for a while because members of the Talk of the Town panel have been
In Florida.
vacationing in Florida, chasing the sunshine. Well, we're back, and we hope to be back in the same slot within the very near future. Tonight, our guests are Lynn Skirpon, who's been with us many times. And Lynn is a lawyer who focuses on real estate and wills, is a former register of wills in this county, and presently advises the comptroller of the state of Maryland, Mr. Francho, on how to get things done in the state. So he really listens to her advice, and she's a very good lawyer. And the focus on wills and estates is a good, if you're worried about that, good place to go see Lynn Skirpon. Call in, exactly. And across from me is Len Lucci, who represents the city of Bowie as our lobbyist in Annapolis. And the mayor, of course, is one of the people that has pushed Len to do a good job, and Len does a good job. But Len is considered by the present mayor, Fred Robinson, to be an evil person. And they can explain that to you better than I can. And of course, we always have with us tonight is our perennial, the mayor, Fred Robinson. We always like to have him because he's the guy that keeps the city running without being an economic disaster the way the surrounding areas
He
are.
was until the thing started tonight. You got to tell you, I don't think he's evil. He's a good guy. He just has a weird sense of humor where he plays jokes on me all the time. He's a great guy, a great lawyer, and a great lobbyist. But he does have an evil sense of humor.
Oh, all right. I'm glad you explained that. We didn't know, and I'm glad you told us.
I've
Leonard,
been on the other end of it too.
okay. How about the first question? The legislature. What happened? How does it impact on the city of Bowie? Did we get any good things out of it? And if it's not Bowie, did the county get anything good out of it that maybe we would get some help from, say, the county in a financial way?
Not a lot of help from the county. The county's in pretty tough shape right now itself financially. Money will be coming to expand the science facilities at Bowie High School, and there's going to be a new performing and fine arts center at Bowie State University. Those are the main two things. And then speed cameras will be coming your way to Bowie in school zones. The chief came to Annapolis, Chief Perez, and was a very strong advocate on behalf of the city, and the legislation ultimately passed after having not passed for many years. But looking back at the last 90 days, I probably would have been more productive had I been in sunny Florida rather than in cold Annapolis.
So it wasn't really what you call a great bonanza for the city of Bowie nor for the county.
Just a tough year all around with the budget. Had a huge hole to fill, and then the stimulus money came in, and it was happy days are here again. Then the new revenue estimates came out from the comptroller's office.
Right.
And then it was back to having to fill the big hole. And so a lot of cuts are made in a lot of areas, a lot of tough decisions are made. And a lot of tough decisions await us because they predict that next year's budget, in an election year, will still have a deficit of $1.2 billion and escalating from that in future years. So something still needs to be done to fix that.
Lynn, what are you advising the comptroller to do about the deficit of 1.2 or 3 or 7 billion?
It's a tough year, and it's really a function of the national economy. There isn't a whole lot we can do. His mantra is tax fairness, and we are collecting and turning over every stone we can, going after the scofflaws. You've probably heard about that. We're looking for money everywhere we can find it and trying to enforce the laws that we have and make people pay up.
With the trouble that seems to be in Annapolis and in the counties, in the state of Maryland, and I don't really, it's not funny about the deficit and the projected deficits. It's tragic. But Mayor, how are the city of Bowie faring in this economic, and people call it a crisis? How are we doing?
Well, thumbnail sketches, we're all right for this year. We're concerned like everybody else is for next year and the year after. The budget that council received last Monday a week ago, proposes an operating budget of about $48 million and a total budget, counting all our capital projects, about $90 million. It also holds the tax rate flat from previous years. The recommendation is that we defer all the capital projects with the exception of the City Hall project and the remaining growth in the police department. If that comes to pass, and if we can adjust to some of the changes we got from some legislative funding procedures, I think we're going to be okay. On the one hand, we're going to, because we've adopted the police department, we qualify for another tax differential with the county. So we're going to hold our tax rate flat. We've qualified for another 4-cent tax decrease from the county. So if council keeps the thing together and it doesn't get too out of hand, we could conceivably have all our bills paid with about a 4-cent tax decrease.
Oh, wouldn't
So
that
I think
be
we'll be in
great?
decent shape.
That's incredible, because when the police department was first proposed, the city, in doing its due diligence, was warning people that there will be tax increases every year, even after the differential. And with the good management and the good job the police department's doing, I don't think there have been any tax increases, and now there's tax decreases. So that's just an amazing feat, given what is going on in the rest of the world.
And we're still building the police department in terms of the
Yeah, we're going to slow the
offices.
hiring. We had all these little flags set out about on this point we expect to be this and this, and we're now up to 45 officers. We're a little ahead of where we thought we would be at this point in time. So we're going to slow the rate of growth a little bit. Instead of hiring 6 officers this year, we're planning right now to hire 2. If the federal COPS money comes forward this year, which funds police hires on the condition that the municipality guarantee that they'll pay their salary after 3 years, if that comes to fruition, we may very well revisit that. But right now, I think we're doing all right. You know, fortunately, we've had some tax base expansion. You know, we've reached out to some business and development there. But all in all, I think for the moment, we're in pretty good shape. We're not anticipating any layoffs or any furloughs at this point. We think we're in good shape to meet the contractual cost of living. There may be some other cuts and some other kinds of issues and some reductions here and there, but right now we're in a very workable condition, I think, and a little enviable condition, like Lynn said, from when I talked to some of my fellow mayors across the state.
Well, that's great. Then Bowie is in good shape for the environment that we're living in. But when I think about the stimulus money, and it was coming to the state of Maryland too, and the governor would be the one who would separate who gets what from who doesn't get anything. How much money was that coming into the state? Do we have any idea on the dollar value of it?
Over 2 years, 2 calendar years, it was $3.1 billion. Now, 88% of that was directed to public education. And so Prince George's County Public Schools, which were facing larger class sizes and teacher furloughs, will not have to do either one of those things because of the stimulus money. And I mean, that makes sense because of all the things in the state budget that are in there, the only one that's constitutionally mandated is that every child receive an adequate public education. And so it made sense that that was the top priority of the Obama administration and then the O'Malley administration.
And with the additional money, what happens? Is that just scattered, shotgun scattered throughout the state, or is there any other major area that they would get the most, you know, not 88%, the other 20
Well,
or 18%?
a good chunk of that is going to be going to road projects. Road projects are practically coming to a halt because gas tax revenues went down and the inter-county connector was taking a lot of money. But now a lot of these projects are going to be going, not in this area unfortunately,